Good afternoon, everyone. Respected chair members, and superiors, supervisors, colleagues, and students. My subject is prevalence of stress and quality of life among hypertensive patients working in a corporate organization in Qatar. My journey with MLCU started in 2014 with counseling psychology, and I acknowledge the support given from the MLCU for taking me or reaching me till here. Thank you so much. And my supervisor I have to thank, because initially I got Dr. Melani for 1 year, and later supervisor changed to Dr. Nandaris, and we spent, because the time frame changed from Qatar to India, we spent many nights together online out of our duty time for taking me here. Thank you very much. And having worked in Qatar since 2007, I have observed physical and psychological challenges faced by corporate employees. This has inspired me to contribute towards improving their well-being. A study evaluated the effectiveness of workplace stress management program for employees with hypertension, and the findings indicated that such interventions could lead to significant reductions in blood pressure and improvements in emotional well-being. Another research assessed how stress affects the quality of life in hypertensive individuals, and the research showed the higher stress level were associated with the poor quality of life, highlighting the importance of stress management in this population. A study examined how socio-economic status influences quality of life in hypertensive patients with perceived stress acting as a mediator, and the study concluded that lower socio-economic position was associated with higher perceived stress, which in turn negatively impact quality of life. I used some definitions here, WHO's health definition: stress with external and internal factors, hypertension, corporate social responsibility, as each employee working in a corporate organization is a part of society and the family. Talking about Qatar, Gulf migration began in 1970s after the oil boom. And there are 2 million people in Qatar. Out of them, 75% are male population, and only 10% of them are Qatari nationals. Quality of life, the other term I used, and standard of living, and finally NCDs. As hypertension is the one which cannot spread from one person to another person, it is an NCD. Statement of the problem. Hypertension is a growing public concern exacerbated by workplace stress in corporate settings. Employees often face high job demands, extended working hours, and competitive pressures impacting their physical and psychological health. For instance, a meta-analysis of observational studies found a significant association between job strain and hypertension, indicating that high workload coupled with limited decision-making opportunities can increase blood pressure. Additionally, a review highlighted that occupational stress is considered a frequent factor in the etiology of hypertension in modern society. In Qatar, limited research exists on the prevalence of stress and its effects on the quality of life of hypertensive employees in the corporate sector. This study aims to bridge this gap, knowledge gap, by assessing stress prevalence and quality of life, providing evidence-based insights for the health policies and workplace wellness programs. Findings will help shape organizational wellness initiatives to improve employees' well-being and reduce stress-related health risks. My objectives are examining the stress among hypertensive patients in Qatar, to assess quality of life among patients with hypertension in Qatar, and to determine the correlation between stress and quality of life among hypertensive patients. Hypothesis: there will be significant association between prevalence of stress of hypertensive patients and their selected demographic variables. Second one is there will be significant association between levels of quality of life of hypertensive patients and their selected demographic variables. The third hypothesis is there will be statistically significant correlation between stress and quality of life scores of hypertensive patients at 0.05 level of significance. I have used a conceptual model framework based on Sister Calista-Ruiz adaptation model, where four aspects include input, processes, effectors, and output. The stress coming as input and the process patients with hypertension as processors. Effectors are good quality of life and poor quality of life leads to the output. In methodology, a cross-sectional descriptive study design is used, and other titles I am going to explain in the coming slides. I used the study. The study followed a quantitative study because the World Health Organization's quality of life questionnaire and the perceived stress scale generate numerical data which can statistically analyze. The study is done on the employees of Crompton International Trading and Contracting Company, where the researcher has experienced many years of experience in the same organization. The familiarity with the settings, the reason for choosing the setting, the familiarity, the availability of the study participants, expected cooperation from the participants as well as the management. Population, hypertensive male patients working in corporate sector, and the sampling non-probability purposing technique is used. There are some inclusive criteria and exclusive criteria. The employees working in corporate organization who provide consent and the age group between 30 and 60. And exclusion criteria, people who are on leave and vacation is excluded, major physical and major psychological illnesses excluded. Coming to the formula of the study calculation and selection of samples, the N is equal to Z square PQ divided by D square, where the confidence level is of 95% and prevalence of population comes as 32.1%, and precision assumed it to be 5%, which the substitutions comes to 334. Since the population size of the study is 3000, a FPC formula was used. Adjusted to that, the count came to 301. With adding 15% non-response rate, the final sample calculated as 347. Coming to the data collection techniques, the self-administered questionnaire on stress and quality of life is prepared to find out the prevalence. The study, the structured tools of data collection, there are four things. First is socio-demographic data, physical examinations and medical checkups, perceived stress scale, and structured quality of life, which includes 5 domains. After making necessary modifications in the pilot study, data collection tools, and overall procedure, the data collected for the main study. Obtaining administrative permission from the Ethics Committee of MLCU and from the corporate organization, and the WHO authorized the reproduction and translation of and the master data sheet was prepared in Excel, organizing variables and scores, was checked for errors and recorded to the and saved, transferred to SSP, and the descriptive findings and analysis. Demographic profile I used age group, educational background, employment, marital status, lifestyle, and years of stay in Qatar. The stress scale score of the hypertensive patients, mean 19.35 median and mode 20, SD 6.39, range from 0 to 40. Frequency and percentage of the participants for level of stress. The highest range was on a moderate stress with 78%, and the second mild stress with 10%, and severe stress with nearly 9%, and there is no stress for 8 participants. And the association between stress, quality of life, and selected demographic variables is dealt with chi-square. The correlation between stress and quality of life score was achieved with the Karl Pearson's coefficient correlation. Item-wise analysis was done. There is no significant statistical difference in the mean stress score of hypertensive patient across various demographic characteristics found. Association between stress level and demographic variables, the findings partially support the null hypothesis, inferring that participants' level of stress is significantly associated with their employment and marital status with 0.001 and marital status at the level of 0.025. In quality of life with the different domains, these are the calculations for the analysis. Frequency and percentage for the participants for level of quality of life. The highest level was seen, highest quality of life for the participants was 59%, and the moderate, medium level was 38%, and the low level was only for 5 participants. Analysis of the academic characteristics with mean quality of life scores indicates there is significant statistical difference in the mean quality of life score of hypertensive patients with respect to their employment, marital status, and the number of years stay in Qatar. And going to each domain, the analysis shows that there is a significant difference in the general health domain for number of years of stay in Qatar. And physical domain, there shows a significant difference in the educational status and marital status. In the psychological domain, there is no significant difference in anywhere. In social relationship domain, analysis shows significant difference in the mean quality of scores. Age, employment, marital status, and number of years have the difference. In environmental health domain also, there are difference in age, education status, employment, marital status, and number of years staying in Qatar. Association between level of quality of life, selected demographic variable, the findings partially support the null hypothesis X or 2, inferring that participants' level of quality of life is significantly associated with the employment and the number of years stay in Qatar. Correlation between stress and quality of life and its domains, Karl Pearson correlation efficient method is used, and it indicates there was a moderate negative correlation between stress and quality of life scores. Hence, the null hypothesis X03 is rejected and the research hypothesis X3 is accepted. Accepting this hypothesis means that the findings align with the expectation that higher stress level negatively impact the quality of life of hypertensive patients. Association between prevalence of stress and level of quality of life. Chi-square value is measured. There is no statistically significant association between the level of stress and quality of life score was analyzed. That means changes in stress level do not appear to be or appear to significantly influence the quality of life score of the life score at the level of 0.5 level of significance. Coming to the summary of the findings, most demographic factors did not affect stress except employment and marital status. The employment had a clear impact on their quality of life. Marital status also had difference in stress level. The number of years staying in Qatar influenced stress level. General health was in the health domain. General health was affected by how long period they stayed in Qatar. Physical health was affected by education and marital status. Social relationships were influenced by age, social and even environmental health also, except educational status, age, job, marital status, and staying in Qatar was influenced. In overall, employment and years of staying in Qatar showed the strongest impact on quality of life. There was also clearly more stress means lower quality of life. This confirms the research idea that stress has a negative effect on quality of life for people with hypertension. In conclusion, although the study found no significant prevalence of stress and poor quality of life, it provides valuable insights into the impact of stress on hypertensive patients. While various demographic factors influence the different domains of quality of life, employment and years of residence in Qatar had the strongest impact, confirming that higher stress levels are associated with poor quality of life among the hypertensive individuals. The study highlights the need for corporate organization and policymakers to address workplace stress through targeted interventions. The relationship between stress and quality of life requires further investigation with a larger sample size for better understanding and so on. A supportive work environment can help minimize their stress, improve employees' quality of life, and reduce health and social related impacts. There are some recommendations, stress management interventions and patient education awareness can be given, improved health service integrated with healthcare providers, and workplace organizational support can be encourage workplace to introduce wellness programs and so on. Policy recommendations also I have suggested as the recommendations, and these are the references. Thank you so much for.
Thank you, Mr. Mukherjee. Any questions or any suggestions towards the scholars' work? Any questions?
I have one correction for you.
Yes.
Go to that Carl Pearson correlation result. Okay, just a correction here. If you're running a Pearson correlation test, right? The t value is not required. I don't know from where you got the t value. Here you're supposed to show only r and p, which is enough. Right? So you remove that. Okay, you remove that, not required. And then I just want to, since you have done a lot of association tests, I want to know why some tests were run using chi-square, which again tells the association, and some tests were run using Pearson or correlation. So what is the difference?
There are different domains in quality of life, different groups, different this one. And in the stress level, there is only one number or one result. There are different results in the quality of life questionnaire.
What is the uniqueness about these two tests? That some tests can be run using chi-square and some can only be run using Pearson. So you have to know this because you have a lot of
Yes.
chi-square tests. Okay, a chi-square test used to find association
Yes.
if the data are categorical. In this case, your data are categorical. They are in groups, right?
Yes.
30 to 40, 40 to 50, like that. So they are in groups. That's why you have had a chi-square.
Yes.
Okay? Pearson, we have used a Pearson because all your data are
Numbers.
in continuous
Continuous.
numbers. They are also numbers, but they are in continuous. So that difference, so you should be able to
Thank you so
at least,
much.
this, let's say you go out and you start presenting your paper, so that is the that's all. Yeah, good job.
Thank you everyone.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Did follow the path. I'm not questioning the research path and the scientific work that you did too, but for this, one of the things is that we need to do a thorough literature review and see that to what extent other people have already commented on it. I mean, so from there we need to pick up, especially by looking into the most recent references, like now you're competing it at 25, so even articles from 24 or 23, the last 5 years of work we have to take. And another thing is that your work has also need to be connected to some theory, which that's all.
Could you please
That's all.
explain the theory?
We need to see, you've seen some people who have made their presentation. They have also talked about their theoretical framework,
Okay.
how their study is connected to a theory.
Here I use the theoretical framework of Sister Caritas.
Yes.
Yes, there are also framework
Yes.
used.
We all need to have theoretical support, because that helps to build our work, the strength of the work.
Yes.
That's
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Joji. Dr. Manuel Lindor, please come forward and to declare the outcome of the presentation of all our research scholars.
Very good afternoon to you all. Once again, before I give my final declaration, I think it would be not wise if we have supervisors who have attended in today's presentation. So I would like to request Nanda, kindly come forward. Please share a few words.
Thank you, ma'am. More than 2,000 kilometers, I believe, from Gata to India. So, Joji Matthew has done a very good job. And thank you for technology. We don't meet in person, so we exchange email and WhatsApp and all that. Only the day before yesterday, we met and see each other, and I recognized him right away. So I don't know that he is so huge like this. So I hope that it's not just pursuing of PhD. You also you push your boundary of knowledge, all of you, I believe so, and also. We hope that your studies and all that, your research will contribute to not just your corporate, but also other agencies as well as for the whole community. So thank you so much.
Thank you. May I request all the presenters of today, except for Zai, I think I've already declared for you, can you please stand up? This is a very special moment for you all. So as the chair of the doctoral committee, it is my duty to make the declaration. As per the guidelines of the Martin Luther Christian University Act and PhD regulation of the university, it is my pleasure to declare the candidates as having fulfilled satisfactorily the requirements for the PhD degree of the Martin Luther Christian University. It will be our pleasure to convey this recommendation and declaration to the Academic Council of the University. So congratulations to Dr. David, congratulations to Dr. Jisha, congratulations to Dr. Yuni Krishnan, congratulations to Dr. Joji, congratulations to Dr. Srilatha, and congratulations to Dr. Bini Thomas. Yes.